Hello, Happy New Year. Grateful to have you here. Today is Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. We just so happened for this Christmas season readings that go on into 2025. On the left-hand side, Bible in a year. And on the right-hand side, the Christmas season readings that go on beyond that of what people just consider Christmas one day. In 2021, many people were surprised to hear that the most popular podcast on Apple's podcast app for several weeks running was a priest reading the Bible. Following a year of COVID lockdowns, isolation, masks, and the tragic loss of human life, the Bible in a Year, hosted by Father Mike Schmitz, a Catholic priest of the Diocese of Duluth, Minnesota, took off and was embraced by millions. It surpassed many popular and long-running podcasts and continues to attract millions of listeners to this day. The podcast, produced by Ascension Press, takes listeners through the entire Bible in 365 episodes, a few chapters at a time. The reading plan is based on the Bible timeline developed by biblical scholar Jeff Cavins. Rather than reading the Bible straight through from beginning to end, Cavins' approach aims to connect the Old and New Testaments with a goal of helping them to better understand how it all fits together. As a follow-up to the Bible in a Year, Ascension introduced the Catechism in a Year podcast, hosted by Father Mike Schmitz in 2023. This podcast takes listeners through the Catechism of the Catholic Church in 365 episodes. In its first year of availability, it was downloaded almost 100 million times. Today is the Solemnity of Mary, the Holy Mother of God. Luke chapter 2, lines 27 30 through 32. Simeon came in the Spirit into the temple, and when the parents brought in the child Jesus to perform the custom of the law in regard to him, he took him into his arms and blessed God, saying, "Now, Master, you may let your servant go in peace, according to your word, for my eyes have seen your salvation, which you prepared in sight of all the peoples, a light of revelation to the Gentiles, and glory for your people Israel." This is quite a scene, an aged holy man holding the 2-month-old Jesus in his arms, looking into Jesus' face and talking to God. The name Simeon, God has heard, characterizes him as a man of hope. He trusts in God and speaks of peace and light and salvation and glory. Simeon's words have become part of the night's prayer of the Church, used in the liturgy of the hours at the end of every day of the year. This canticle is known as the Nunc Dimittis, Latin for the first words of the prayer, "Now you may let your servant go." That's a good way to end each day. I go to bed and rest in peace, entrusting myself into the hands of God. I can do it in Simeon's words, or I can use my own. Just one short sentence would do it. Lord, as I go to sleep, I place myself in your hands, a holy thing to do, and it may help me sleep more peacefully. Spend some quiet time with the Lord. I appreciate you for being here, and I look forward to sharing more with you tomorrow.